Hey. Hello, and welcome to Night Shift with Andrea Up Late. Hey, Silly. Hey, Carly. Can everybody hear me okay? And see, like, every single one of my chins? Are we there? Give me a thumbs up or something. Y'all, are they saying anything? I'm delayed here. Alrighty. Well, tonight we are doing something a little bit. Oh, cool. Davey said yes. So the reason I don't mind to say that stuff right now and kind of chit chat with you guys is because tonight's a little bit different. I decided a couple days ago that December is fully upon us, as we all know. And it's a wonderful time and a cozy time. And I've been having a great time with everybody at home and at work and everything like that. But because of that, I've been fully investing in that stuff and didn't want to take the time that it takes to research a case as properly as I prefer. I do get to be a little bit in my regular life. I'm not a perfectionist very much. When it comes to the show, though, like I don't like to leave anything out, like details of a case or anything like that. And so I just don't feel good going into a show if I don't feel like I've given it all the research time I possibly have. And to be perfectly honest with y'all, I want to spend the next 2 or 3 weeks spending a lot of time with my kids and with somebody else over here and just kind of hanging out and having a good old time. So in saying that, I think tonight, maybe next week we'll do something a little different and just have some fun. Some Q&A. Like, let's just like take it down, slow down for December and get to know each other and have a good old time. And then by the end of December or beginning of January, we will get right back into true crime and all the cases that you guys have recommended. And I truly do appreciate it. So without further ado, let me bring somebody on stage here. What's up, Bill? So tonight we are going to fully engage the chats. That is the whole point of tonight. So if you know any other listeners that aren't in right now, let them know. Tell them to come on and let's go. Because I'm not even sure if I'm going to drop this on StreamYard. I mean, no, not StreamYard. On Spotify. I might just keep this YouTube just kind of for fun. I don't think it's anything anybody's going to want to listen to just driving in their car once the night has gone by. Because like I said, we're doing just kind of like a live Q&A, chit chat with everybody. And that's all. So look, I've got somebody with me here. We've got BC Sanders. BC.
It's because I was trying to do the chat thing. So I had YouTube up. And I was trying to type. But I can't
Okay.
It'll be interesting. Sorry about that, y'all. There should be echo now, right? We're good?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they'll tell us. Yet another reason we're not doing Spotify for any of this or Apple iTunes. We're just gonna have fun tonight. So hey everybody. Hey Jay Galt. Hey Bill. Everybody's saying you look a little different than they expected. I don't know what everybody's expecting.
Yeah. It's funny, Bill thought I was a black guy.
Yeah.
Which I've gotten that before. People read my articles and thought the same thing. It's interesting how people perceive things.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a shoe question already right off the bat. But now I don't want to scroll back up on the comments, so I mess it up.
Silly said that you are in fact black. Was there a question about shoes? Did somebody ask about shoes?
I think Carly did.
Did she ask what kind of shoes you're wearing, maybe?
No, I think she asked about your shoes.
My current shoes?
I don't know how to work the chat comments.
Oh my gosh. She said, what is the best type of shoe? It's a Q&A. That's her question.
Oh, what's the best type of shoe?
Yeah.
Vans.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're on the range shooting, so this is for all the gun people out there that love to shoot and train and get all high speed.
Okay.
Throw on some Vans, some regular pants, and a holster on your hip, and then go to work.
Okay. Vans is the answer. That's his final answer.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Bill Schofield said, like I still wear DC skate shoes. I'm not trying to crack jokes on other people, but I always thought those shoes were pretty not cool, good, bad. Not good. James Barber's correct. Pretty much I only wear Vans.
Hey, James.
Creepers. I'll wear some creepers every now and then, like with a suit or something like that.
Silly has already said that she wants to see you in a suit. In fact, her recommendation was that when you teach your virtual classes to people that you wear a suit. That's what she told me the other day.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I don't like wearing a suit.
That's what I told her.
Like at all. To the point where I wouldn't wear a tie for the last year I worked.
That's also true. Hey, Teresa. Etnies. I forgot all about Etnies, Silly. Yes, Carly said pictures or didn't happen. She also only wears Vans. And I actually told Silly the other day that I would send a picture because she said basically the same thing. Picture didn't happen in terms of you wearing a suit.
Oh, yeah. No, I wore a suit for many years. And usually it was like a black suit, black, white, and gray probably. And then I started wearing a little bit of blue.
You started putting a little color in
I did.
your
A little
wardrobe.
blue, a little green. I'm not very cool with the dress clothes. Not
Well,
like I'm cool with the t-shirt either. But.
Hey, Bosco. Hey, Teresa. Hey, everybody. Again, if you are, hey, Angry Panda. Does that say, it says, Bill, what are your virtual classes? Does that mean to say BC? Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. If you are tuning in real quick, we are not doing crime tonight. We're just taking December easy. I'll say that 2 or 3 times throughout the evening so that if anybody's just popping on, they know what we're doing. We're just talking to you guys tonight. We're just kind of having a good time. So don't expect anything formal. I'm going to quickly add to the shoes comment, and then I'll let you answer the question about classes. I agree with Vans, but I'll have to say flip-flops are where my heart's at. I particularly like rainbow flip-flops in case anybody wants to sponsor or send anything to the effort. Rainbows and then Vans are probably my number twosies. I don't like to have my toes covered.
I will also say I started wearing flip-flops miraculously.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone taught me into wearing them.
Yes.
And I wore them pretty much all summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't even know what I'm about to say what flavor. I don't even know what brand flip-flops they were, but man, yeah, I'd wear those a lot.
What flavor are your flip-flops?
I don't know. There was a
Question.
Bosco. Hey, buddy. So Bosco's in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I won't be able to type as fast as I can kind of read.
I'm sorry. Davey said to reach out to Sparky, the owner of Rainbow Brand Flip Flops in San Clemente, California, and that Davey, if I give him your name, will this help me in acquiring more rainbows?
Yeah, right. You would think that, like, to hook it up.
Silly, you could just wear slides if you don't like them between your toes.
Also, Silly said I didn't talk to people on the street in a suit, or I did.
She was asking, what did you say about that to me the other day, Silly? Asking about you talking to people.
Yeah, I did all of it. Did uniform, I did suits, and did plain clothes too. So
for those of you that don't know, BC is a retired homicide lieutenant. So that's when we're talking about clothing here. Jay Galt said Merrell's all day. I do like a good Merrell shoe. I like a Merrell hiking shoe. To be fair.
Yes.
Is that comical to you?
It is. Because I thought you were about to say if Merrell wanted to sponsor the show too. Or someone just
if anybody wants to sponsor the show,
hiking
if y'all just want to send me some quarters. Oh, hey, DM me your addresses because I'm probably going to, this is dumb, but DM me your addresses because if you want a sticker, I'm going to overcharge 50 cents per stamp to send you a sticker that weighs a negative amount. So send me your messages and I'm going to send you some new stickers that we got.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I was also trying to read.
Do you have some that you'd like to throw in as well?
Oh, yeah. I do actually. I'll throw in a sticker as well.
Look at, did you see Bill's comment? He says, BC, what's the best shoe to throw over a power line?
Oh, man.
I've seen that.
Taylor's.
I've seen that numerous times. Maybe the DCs.
Yeah. They're Oh, I thought said they're good just to throw right in the trash, but that's not nice.
That's not nice.
It's
And
not
some of our
nice. Do you
listeners
know why
probably
people
do.
throw shoes over the power lines?
I've heard a lot of urban legends. Hang on. So I heard when I was a kid, they used to say it was gang activity.
What
I don't know.
Would I say? Yeah, suppose it's when someone dies, you throw their shoes up
Oh,
over the power lines.
I think I heard. What did you guys hear? What were your like urban legends on? Ooh, and then I want to talk about that. But what's your urban legends on the shoes on the power lines? I think that I heard. Yeah, I don't know to what capacity they said gang when I was a kid. Is that true? You have gang expertise.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that what they do?
I mean, that's what it started out in that culture. Was that when someone was, died, shot, killed, whatever you want to say, you throw them up over the power lines like
That's
that.
right. Bill said he heard that it marked the buy spots for drugs. That's what I heard too. Which is that not the most hilarious things? Like now that we're adults to think about.
Well, yeah.
But
But
is
if you
it
think about it
true?
too, like if drug dealers are sitting there selling, and part of it is when someone gets shot and killed or dies, you throw the shoes up over, then someone could misread it and be like, "Oh, that just marks the drug spot." But really, the meaning of it could be that the person sees. Either way, you got an open air drug market, so it's not really that good.
Have you been to any shoe tossing ceremonies?
I haven't, and I don't have anything like any videos of it. It would be interesting to have that though.
Well, Carly and Davey are going to be in your gang class tomorrow night, and I expect that they're going to want to hear more about shoe tossing.
Yes, they are going to be in my class tomorrow. To answer Bill's question earlier, that anybody can take the class. So you don't have to be sworn law enforcement. And it's all just like this. It's right off of StreamYard. I throw a headset on, use a microphone, and talk directly to everybody. So yeah, Carly and Davey are going to be in it tomorrow night.
And I've gotten permission that I can say hello to you, Carly and Davey.
When we log on.
And then I'll go away. Yeah, it's going to be a StreamYard link, which is just as easy. All you'll do is click the button and open it up. That's how we get whenever that's the platform that he and I both use for podcasts. So, and many, many other people. So when, let's say that I'm going to have a victim's family member on or someone who doesn't have a podcast already, I just send a link via email through StreamYard, and you click that little hyperlink and it opens it up for you. And next thing you know, through the magic of the internet, you're logged in with whomever sent you that link. So he'll just send you that link through email. Yeah,
it's StreamYard. All you do is click it. You shouldn't have to download anything or do anything other than that. You just click that link and we'll be up and running. And you'll be able to see everything on my screen. So when I show videos or show PowerPoint or slides or pictures, you'll be able to see everything just as clear as the camera right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually we'll do the homicide one.
Yeah.
That we kind of mentioned.
I've already had someone, asking tonight. And y'all are welcome to ask him. Ask me whatever you want, but I've not gotten bumped up to administrative assistant role yet. So you're welcome to ask him about his classes too. Bill, we'd love to be on your show.
Yeah, all you gotta do is invite us, man. We'll definitely be on.
So back to what we were saying a minute ago, though, and it made me think, you guys in the chats, let us know what are some of the either sillier or outrageous urban legends you either used to believe, or grew up hearing. And then have there been any that you always heard about that actually didn't become an urban legend? You find out that it's there's some truth to it. So for instance, just then, I'm not sure that was ever really an urban legend, but the idea of the shoes over the power line, okay, maybe it is a little bit more gang related than once I became an adult, I thought.
Or drug dealer related, or just maybe even a neighborhood. It could be a neighborhood thing. I always heard about the gang stuff though.
Oh, James has an actual question. James is a good rules follower, and it's a question and answer episode, and he has a question and asked how I got into podcasting. I was asked. So actually a little bit of it's an interesting story in that specifically crime podcasting. So, I kind of like the idea that this isn't going on Spotify and it's just going to be for who's listening right now.
And they should be rewarded.
It's kind of like a little,
cool
they're all getting stickers.
Yeah. Stickers. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
What?
Okay. maybe we'll even throw in some other stuff, some exciting stuff.
Okay. Do you have exciting stuff?
I always got exciting stuff. It could be a book. It could be anything. People are like, nerd. I don't want a book.
What's in your hand right now?
A marker. I'm going to jot some stuff down. Some
Okay.
questions are coming in so fast.
Okay.
I can't keep up.
So Boo Radley's cracking me up. This is what's happening. James, can I just give you your sticker in person? Do I have to mail it to you? Anyway, so podcasting, so probably 3 years or so, 4 years ago, I kind of got a little hyper focused on like cold cases. And so I spent all of my free time kind of being interested in the idea of cold cases. And so what happened is where I live, a lot of you know that I live in Wilmington over here in the southeast coast of North Carolina. So, and I say that to say, I mention this organization all the time, but CUE, the Q Center, it's the Community United Effort. I will shamelessly plug them always. They're a nonprofit that goes a very long way toward investigating missing and unsolved cases and cases gone cold. And they do primarily, not intentionally, and they kind of do cover everything, but it seems that a majority of the population of victims that they serve in looking for tend to be some high-risk lifestyles and things that kind of got lost in the wayside of the news over the years. So they are based locally here in Wilmington, but it's actually a nationally known organization. So the woman who heads it up, Monica Kaysen, I hope to get her on the show. We're in communication. She and I got to talking because I got hyper focused on a case that was out of my city here. And it's something where a woman's body was found just a few miles down the road back in 1996. And it's cold. She was a prostitute. And before getting into being a prostitute, so keep in mind, I say she was a prostitute, but she was other things as well, right? She was also a mother. She had an ex-husband. She had she had her own mother. She was a daughter. And she kind of one thing led to another, and she got into that line of work and got into drug use and this and that. And she's found dead off the side of the road by a small body of water where people would fish. All right. So I just got really interested in it. And so through the power of social media and different things like that, I was able to get in contact with, well, first I say I worked it, and I understand how wrong that is. I didn't work it. I'm a nurse. You guys know that. I'm not an investigator. I didn't actually work it. Just as a mom sitting at home on my computer, I just dove in and I started piecing some things together. And then I started calling around people. And then I found a news reporter up in Pennsylvania now that used to cover the case here. So he has whatever. And then I find this, I kind of worked it frontward and backward. I talked to people that were in the Navy that were stationed off in ships here off the coast at the time or whatever. Long story short-ish, narrowed it down to this one guy who was a trucker, and he was a trucker, who was actually already in prison serving time for I think 3 other murders of women. And when I found him, I kept trying to clear him in my brain, and I couldn't. And I got his trucking routes. That was a little difficult. A few other things. And then I had, at this point, gotten in touch with the victim's daughter, who was very gracious. And I recorded all our phone conversations with her consent so I could go back and kind of study on it later, and was able to get from the detective that was then working the case, the autopsy report of the mother. And when I did, that tied some other loose ends together that I wondered about. And then I got back in touch with that Q Center that I just mentioned to you. And when I talked to them, I said, I found one more detail, which I'll share at some point when we talk about this more, but I found one more detail, and I called the victim's daughter and asked her one particular question. And when she answered that question, to me, that was it. That did it without, anyway. So I talked about, hey, Andy, we'll talk about really happy things here in a minute. So I called the Q Center and I said, look, I don't know. I don't want to be, flippant or devalue, right? Like the work that that's all they do. So I didn't want to call and be like, oh, hey, I got this figured out and feel like I'm delegitimizing them or something. In fact, I felt kind of dumb. But the lady who heads it up was like, no, 100%, we've got him for it all day long. We just need XYZ to be able for them to be able to charge. The man has actually just this past 6 months ago died in prison, unfortunately. But I think pretty soon they will be able to potentially open it back up in terms of charging this guy. So that's how I got into crime. I was asked to be on another network, as many of you know, about a little over a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, and did a crime podcast there for about a year. And then that evidently I found out didn't seem to work out. And so now that's okay. So I'm doing my own thing now. So here we are. So still doing night shifts, still doing podcasting. And I had not expected to ever be on a podcast or whatever. And y'all, come on. I got another full-time job. This isn't a sponsored gig. It's just interesting to me. And I do like to shed light on particularly these unsolveds and really kind of talk to their families and get the word out about things that sometimes people have forgotten about. So that's a very long answer to your question, James, but that's how I got into podcasting. And here we are. Bill. Yes, I'm going to be a very professional woman right now. Jay Galt says that the serious question is going to be pineapple on pizza. I'm down. I can do it.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll eat, when I was a kid, we had a thing called Preserve. Preserve?
The hell are you saying?
It was chocolate, like pudding on pizza crust, and they served it at a pizza restaurant. All you can eat pizza buffet.
You're just talking about dessert pizza.
Yeah, but it was called Preserve.
Was it Cece's?
No, it was
Do y'all remember Cece's Pizza Buffet?
No. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'll eat pineapple on a pizza. That's no big deal.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. Andy, so if you guys saw Andy in the chats, Andy's had a rough day. Andy had a late night last night. We all went to a show.
Yes, we did.
And I didn't grow up, y'all, if you can't tell, in the punk scene. So I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm figuring it out, kind of.
Okay.
And
what did you think?
Well, so it's the second show you've taken me to.
Yes.
This full-on punk rager.
It was Agnostic Front in Murphy's Law.
Yes.
Just so everybody's clear, not everybody out there is going to know what I'm talking about. Google it. That's fine. But we had a good time. Everybody was nice.
Everybody was very, very nice. No.
Yeah.
We got pictures with everybody. Andy got pictures of everybody there in the chats. Everybody was super gracious. BC handed out some Disruptors shirts that they were super happy to have. So some of those guys are probably going to be on his show on the Disruptors podcast with BC and Ski.
So how everything works in Instagram world, like I always joke about the positivity and the fun of it. There's a guy named Larry the Hunter, that's his handle, and he is a guitarist for Stigma, which is Vinny Stigma's band that he fronts, and he's a guitarist for Kings Never Die. They just went on tour. They're a hardcore band, great band. He and I've messaged for, I don't know, like 2 years now, maybe, something like that. He and I linked up when I was writing articles for Skill Set Magazine. Loved hardcore. We've talked about guns, all of that stuff. And he lined it up about a year or two ago. Murphy's Law was coming through, and he's toured some with Murphy's Law. So he was like, hey, I'm going to hook it up, man. Murphy's Law's coming to your place where I was living at the time. Like, hey, great. I was going to go see him. And then I got called in for a homicide. So I missed the show, couldn't go. And so he hooked it up this time through Ben, who's the guitarist for Murphy's Law. The show sold out, but Ben was cool enough to get us on a list.
Mm-hmm.
He was really, really kind, really nice. Murphy's Law destroyed it last night. Agnostic Front was incredible. Vinny Stigma was really, really nice.
He was really sweet.
We sat and talked to him for a little bit. And I gave some shirts out and some stickers, and
Tell
a
them
good
how
time.
amazing I was in the pit.
So Andrea wanted to get in the pit, and I said, that's probably not a good idea. Not because she can't handle herself, probably just because I worry a little too much. That's all. But she was enjoying the music and couldn't understand like why some people would stand around when she wanted to full on get in the pit. And I think that's great. You fully embraced it. I think
I wasn't, Andy. He said, "Were you really in the pit?"
She was going to
not.
Get, all jokes aside, she was going to get in the pit. And I was like, not that it was a bad one or a rough one. Nobody was trying to do some crowd killing.
I'm not trying to get in a fight. I mean, like,
No.
or I don't want to get, I guess I don't want to get in somewhere where if somebody hits me, I'm going to get pissed and then it's a problem. But it didn't look like that. They were just like moving.
Yeah.
Like bouncing and jumping.
That was like the pit we grew up in. I think Andy will back me up on that.
Okay.
That was the type of pit we grew up in. More of a circle pit. That's why you kept hearing Roger from Agnostic Front saying, get that circle pit going. Because now younger crowds.
Oh, was that what I called the hoedown?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't say it with such a pained face.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where the energy is and everybody just loves it.
Silly said, don't put Andre in a corner, BC.
Oh. Yeah. Look at that.
That's for those of you that may not know, which I think all of you do, but Bill Schofield in the chats, Minor League Studio is his company, and so he does our merch and a lot of other people's.
Yeah. So he prints our shirts, hoodies. We got some hoodies going out.
You got hoodies going out.
Yeah. Andrea's working on a new design.
Hey, okay. This is fun. Since y'all are listening and we won't be, I don't know. I guess y'all will hear it. I don't know. I might put it on YouTube, I guess. Do y'all like better for the crime show for Night Shift? Do you like better? I like Deny the Polygraph because I've always said that I won't ever take one.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and we could do both, but Fortify the Alibi because I like that too.
I do like that one a lot. I like things that rhyme or they just flow. I like the design you have right now. So
what do I have?
The stickers.
Oh, the sticker is my newer design. It's an 18-wheeler. So if y'all didn't see it in my story, that's the sticker you'll be getting. It's an 18-wheeler truck that just says Night Shift, like on the bed of the the cargo portion of the truck, and then just underneath it says with Andrea up late, which would be I think that would be fun for a thing. Carly says Fortify the Alibi. I like that too.
Yeah.
That could be fun with the truck on the back, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so.
Something like that.
I think Bosco said something in there about, and I'm trying to read these comments as they scroll, something about jumping on his podcast and doing, I think he said a music murder case, maybe?
That was, no. So Bosco said he has a murder mystery case. I think it was Bosco, right?
Yeah, I apologize.
Not a murder mystery, excuse me, a music murder mystery. He said, Andre, I have a mystery music case working on if you would like for me to come on. And he was saying that he wants to get on your show at some point as well.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a little behind, but I'll get caught up trying to record episodes and get guests on and that sort of thing.
Yeah, y'all, like kind of, it's like it's a really fun thing to do. But it just takes time, which is good and it's fine. But between like figuring out what the show's going to be and like he's got to get guests every week. I'm trying to get guests every week and then trying to promote it so people know it's happening and then, producing it and putting it out. It just takes a little while. So it's easy to get behind a little bit. And Andy definitely sent me a message on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's easy to get behind sometimes, especially when other things like this, like Christmas and things are going on. Hence why we're having kind of a fun show tonight, just to take a little break. And Bill says, how about who really killed Nicole Brown Simpson? Silly just called you a tease because she's been waiting on that episode for.
I know, and I apologize.
Do you want to tell what happened though?
Well,
I think it was on his end, actually.
Yeah, I had an episode recorded that was really, really good. He's gonna come back on. We joked, we cut up.
He is a great guest.
He's great. This guy Zeke Stout. He was in one of the earlier episodes, and we were talking, and he's kind of like me. He talks with his hands. He bumped his cord on the mic, and it started crackling, and I couldn't edit it out. So we're just going to have to redo a whole new episode, which is fine because I always love talking to that guy. But great, he used to be on reality-based or reality shows on firearms. Just he's a cool cat. Grew up skateboarding, loves music and stuff like that. So it'll be good. I've got one right now. I've got to drop. I may even be able to drop it tonight. I did an episode with Zen Cop podcast.
Oh yeah.
A guy named Mac, and that's all I can say. He doesn't use his government name or his face or anything because he's still working. He grew up in the music scene, and he's done some pretty cool assignments. He's just got a really good, positive take on police work, and usually on his podcast, he'll get real in depth with facts, and sometimes it's just a solo episode of him talking about a certain topic. But he and I have a pretty good discussion, so I'll maybe be able to drop that one tonight. I'm trying to catch up here.
So Carly asked, hot cocoa with Baileys or hot cocoa with peppermint schnapps? I don't know. I haven't had a peppermint schnapps since it's been since I probably wasn't supposed to be having alcohol.
I don't know, but did you see Cousin T's in the comments?
Is Cousin here?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Hey, Tammy.
Cousin Tammy popped up in the comments.
Hey, Tammy. No, I didn't. They're going fast. Y'all are writing fast. I like it, though.
Also,
Chuck Nasty's in the comments.
Oh, I was going to say earlier, old Chuck Nasty popped up.
What's up, Chuck Nasty? Davy's got a case from Australia. I think that's when... Davy, you sent that to me, right? I think it's when you sent to me, and then I forgot, and you sent again. What?
I was waiting to hear him answer. You said that. Sorry. I don't know why. I got sidetracked. Get your lady some Baileys. That's what
I saw that. James is asking if the merch will be available next year. You guys direct all your merch questions to our merch guy, Bill Schofield of Minor League Studios. No, I'm joking.
He's in the comments.
He is in the chat. Yeah. So, Davey, yes, I do remember. And don't let me forget. Just tell me again. I do kind of sometimes forget things. It doesn't mean I'm disinterested or ignoring you at all. And James, we will always have, as long as we're both doing these things, I think he and I will always try to put merch out. So we can always revisit, designs that people seem to like more than others. If they're usually sold for a limited time, but then we can always come back around to the same thing. So I would say that's just a shoot a text and ask about it situation.
Yes. And I want to say too, for Bill, he and I were chatting when I knew Agnostic Front and Murphy's Law were coming to town. And Larry had said, hey, if you've got some shirts, man, that'd be great. You know what I mean? And Bill printed off some shirts and got me a box very quickly. So I do appreciate that. Because not everybody is always that timely or that squared away.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Bosco asked how we came up with logos because he said he's struggling with his.
Yeah,
do you want to answer yours?
Okay, so Bosco's got a podcast, y'all.
Forever Road podcast.
Yeah, most of y'all probably know it's Forever Road podcast. Usually he's talking about music and cars. I always joke with him. He's got a great voice. He's a good storyteller. I think you could knock out of the park with some good logos on that. It's a wide variety, man. You got music, mechanics, symbols.
I think you should do. Well, now I'm on the spot. I like the idea of a road though, that goes into the horizon, but somehow when you're looking at it, okay, picture this. There's a guitar lying there, right? So instead of the strings of the guitar, that would be the dots of the lines of the road.
Oh, see? That's good.
Because his podcast is about cars and music.
Yeah.
And particularly, I think, propping up Allman Brothers and things like that is kind of his thing. So Forever Road is his thing. Are you laughing? He's laughing.
Oh, I thought it was a good idea.
Andy said he saw your box last night and thought you were selling Lucy's.
That's what you pull the shirt back. That's what I got. Oh, also, Andy, shoot me your address and I'll get you a hoodie sent to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be tattoo style is probably going to be a BC sitch, Bill.
The big yeah. I'm working on that, man. I'm working on that. Sometimes I don't understand the files or anything like that, so some of the artwork I'm not going to be able to use unless I can convert it for a file. But.
Yeah.
So more importantly, there was a question earlier that Silly, I think, said something about disposing of a body, how easy it is or how hard it is.
Oh, is that what you're here to teach us tonight?
No. But I was going to be like, a lot of people think it's easy, like that it's not. It's actually very, very hard. Probably some of the only people that maybe got it right were maybe, well, I don't want to give any methods away of disposing of bodies, but
just even if you tell how people did it doesn't mean people are going to execute it
quite properly.
No pun intended.
Yeah, books have been written about Roy DeMeo. You ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
So Roy DeMeo was by books and stuff. They've documented that he was a made man, and he was in Canarsie, I think is how you pronounce it, neighborhood New York. But he and a couple of guys like underlings that he used would bump people off for the mafia at first, and then it became he just started killing people apparently just because he would get mad or enraged.
Mm-hmm.
But they had it down to a science where they would lure somebody above the bar that they hung out at. They had an apartment, and when they got the person up there, they'd pop them in the back of the head with the .22 pistol, and another person would grab them or wrap their head up so they wouldn't leak blood everywhere, drag them into the bathroom and begin to drain them of blood, and then cut them up and wrap them up in like butcher paper, and then spread their parts all over the city in various dumpsters.
Which is genius. But I think where a lot of people get hung up on that is the actual like chopping piece and draining piece, because they don't realize how overloaded they're going to get their the plumbing or the whatever system.
Yeah.
Well, that happens. So that's how Dennis Nielsen was called, the dude who kept all the corpses under his floorboards and like dressed them and put them back under. I might revisit that show another time, y'all, because that was something wild. But see you, Chuck Nasty. Enjoy your pizza rolls. But that's how he got caught specifically, was some flesh was found in the drain and it clogged the drain, and like a neighbor of the apartment complex. So, things like that. We're talking about it like, I think that's where like the fact that the guy, what he did, sure, like hid the bodies, but I think even just him doing it successfully is what's kind of crazy, because even what he did isn't like easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For DeMeo and them, it was just missing persons. They had like, I don't know, after a while, like 25 missing person cases from like a 2-3 block radius or 4 block radius. Started adding it up. And I think Silly said actually that she wanted to know something about interviews and tricks or whatever. You'd have to take the homicide class.
I knew 100% that's what he was about to say.
To get anything like that. I'll go into detail on a block on interviews, from setting up rooms to body language deception or stressors, I should say, stuff like that.
Yeah, he is doing classes again. He's doing a game class tomorrow night. He'll offer more of those, and then a homicide class coming up. In the hey, Falk.
And if there's any topics that y'all want to know about or learn about, like I limit a lot of stuff to gang stuff or to homicide stuff, but there are a lot of other facets. Whatever it is, we'll hook it up. I want some pizza rolls. What was I saying?
James, your guess is as good as mine. He's asking, guys, what's the best way for an average Joe to promote your podcast? Oh, how you guys can promote. Oh, literally just tell your friends. I mean, as silly as that sounds, I mean, word of mouth, I guess, is everything, or obviously like sharing stuff on social media or telling your friends. And it's like, and we talk about this a lot. I mean, everybody does. So it's not like a woe is me. It's like, I hate saying or requesting or asking that, but also really that's how, right? That's how it's going to go. That's how it works. Bill said, can you do a class on the gangs with the best style? That's a good, I like that actually.
I actually, when I teach gang classes, I do talk about the differences, and there really are a little bit of differences. It can even come down to fashion, but I know what he's saying. We got the best style.
Oh, you mean of murder? I thought he meant fashion.
That's what I thought he meant, like the fresh gear.
So Bosco says, how about the urban legend of wild hogs eating a complete body? So they do. Mm-hmm. That's not an urban legend. They generally can't really digest hair and nails. So basically anything keratin based, or like teeth. So a lot of times, if you haven't listened to the pig killer farmer, the pig farmer killer episode that I did a while ago, I think Jay Keefe was my co-host on that one, but that specifically goes into someone who owned a hog ranch and used that in part to help dispose of his bodies. They will. In fact, there was a horrible case. Do y'all remember 2 or 3, 4 years ago where I believe it was like an 8-year-old boy. It was a terrible case where like an uncle, somebody had killed the boy, but they threw his body in with the hogs to dispose of him. But they're pretty indiscriminate with what they eat. They can chomp through a lot. And the pig farmer killer, I always say it backwards. In his case specifically, he knew that there were things that the hogs wouldn't eat because he grew up with them. So he actually would scalp his victims. Like he would kill them, scalp the women, usually remove the lower part of their jaw, and take that stuff to the rendering plant, which the rendering plant is kind of like where you get your makeup and gummy candies, because it's kind of where they take all the scraps, everything left from a pig processing plant, and kind of goop that all into other stuff. But anyway, he would take that there so that there would be no evidence of, mandibles, teeth, hair, or anything like that at his place.
2 other people I've talked to have talked about that.
About hair.
You got to get rid of the hair and teeth.
Who are you talking to?
One of my buddies. He's a drummer in a band. He's played in a bunch of bands. He'll be a guest on. He's just known as Drummer Dave for right now. But he had a relative, an older gentleman, and that's what they used to talk about. Was hogs will eat anything, everything, the human body except the teeth and the hair. You want to just go on and get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I said nails. They will eat the nails. What I think I was thinking of is he did cut off their hands and feet. This guy a lot of times, I think, because if let's say he would chop up the hogs, or excuse me, the women's bodies, and take them to the actual pig processing plant too, to the point that a lot of people in that town that bought, because he sold his meat. So the people in that town wound up later realizing that they were eating a mixture of hogs and humans. No. But since he took the women's chopped up body parts along with his slaughtered hogs to the processing plant, he got rid of their hands and feet, just because on first pass, if you just see flesh and blood, you're not thinking much of it. You see a hand or a foot, obviously you're going to be alerted that's a human and not a pig. Yeah. So he got rid of them for that reason. Yes, they will eat the nails, but the teeth and the hair is not what they
So 2 quick questions that were asked earlier. Andy asked me if I've ever arrested someone for jaywalking. Yes. I have charged people for basically crossing a street.
Why?
Because they were drug dealers and they were doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing.
Oh, so it's just a way to get them.
Yeah. Well, that, and also when you have multiple people.
I was about to have to reevaluate some things.
When you have multiple people hanging out in a street, also impeding the flow of traffic, yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just let people stand in the middle of the street and do bad things? So it was a technique. Not proud of myself, but
no, if it's a way to get, also, to get someone, just a way to get.
Yeah, white lights on bikes, like bicycles. There's certain laws, like in certain cities, you can have. I'm
not a big fan of bikes anyway, so I don't really care.
So you got people that ride bikes at like 2 a.m, hitting the cuts and stuff like that, but they have no lights, no reflectors, anything. So once they get on the road, you can technically stop them. It's just like a motor vehicle. And so dudes all the time used to be like, you can't just stop me on a bike. Like, yeah, you don't have a white light or you don't have a reflector on the back. It's so cheesy. And then you're like, oh, and you got a gun in your waistband. Oh, and you're like 6-time, convicted felon. Sorry, you got to go away and protect the neighborhood. So you do what you can.
Davey says, BC, how many people did you get who inadvertently drove down a one-way street?
On a bike or in a car? On a bike, everybody goes the wrong way. In a car, I don't know, multiple times. I've been in a car chase where you ended up in the oncoming traffic, just the way it happens. It's not always fun. Yeah, so I don't, in a car, yeah. Multiple people. And a lot of that is your cities. Cities have some weird roads where one will be a one-way and it'll run parallel to another one. But there'll be like businesses in between, like almost like you can see the roads running parallel. So people will end up from out of town, take a wrong turn and go straight up traffic like that. And then crash, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Andy said, BC, how many Jacob Miller fans did you meet during your career?
One. I think I told him the story at some point, or I tell it all the time. Yeah, Jacob Miller is an incredible reggae singer. Everybody needs to Google him, check him out. The great thing about technology now is you can hear him in the keystrokes. When we were kids, you had to find a Jacob Miller record, and they were hard to find. We were into Bad Brains, which led us into a lot of reggae. My brother had a Jacob Miller's Greatest Hits. We would listen to it all the time. Flash forward, I became a cop. Had information about a guy stopping. Long story short, he was from Jamaica, and that's how I struck up a conversation. I said something about Jacob Miller, and he looked at me sideways. And then we were good to go. Because back then, like Jacob Miller's still not probably widely known to everybody, but people will be interested to know that Jacob Miller and the Inner Circle. So at one point he had the Inner Circle, his band.
I'm listening.
They did this song that was used on the TV show for cops. Bad Boys, that song.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, that was the Inner Circle.
He's gonna arrest you for jaywalking is what he's gonna do.
Not everybody's nice in the world. I mean, I wish they were. I mean, not everybody's cool and nice. But check out Jacob Miller.
When I was a kid, my mom would always say the phrase, have y'all heard naked as a jaybird?
Yeah.
Did y'all grow up with that? So then in my child brain, I thought that if you were jaywalking, you were walking across the street naked. I thought that my whole little child life. So I always thought, well, why is people? Because then jaywalking was such a big deal. It was like you can't walk from my mother, right? No, that's jaywalking. You can get in trouble for jaywalking. And I thought, well, yeah, because you're walking outside naked.
Yeah, because you're naked as
a jaybird. Yeah, that's where my brain went. But whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bill said he had an informant tell him that I was a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not trying to be
Has
mean.
he been talking to Skeet?
Yeah. Yeah, he probably got that from Skeet.
Jay Galt said real quick, why is it called jaywalking?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Google it real quick.
Because it's basically, it's like an improper crossing or something, or crossing at a non-marked.
Yeah, but how does Jay?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. There was a question up there about what is your favorite Christmas tradition?
Oh, just one is going to be tough because, I mean, I think for a lot of us, Christmas has probably the most traditions within the season, than others. That's tough. I guess for me, it's always and I say tradition, it's what a lot of us do, but I do love when, and if you're not parents, you have your own memories of child. If you are parents, I think a lot of us try to do the things that we remember so warmly when we were children. So for me, it's not really a tradition. I think it's just the way most people do it, but I love so much, seeing the kids, no matter how old they are now, first kind of stumble out of their room, and there is a teenager in the house, and things are a little different, but also just seeing that initial, excitement, and because I get excited like a child. Now things are a lot different. It's the way this house is set up is that like where I'm sleeping versus where the kids are sleeping are on two separate ends, and the Christmas tree and presents will be in the middle. So before, when they were younger, as a lot of you know, it would be like you wake up so early because you're trying to wake up before they do. Now they sleep in, and I'm like, hey, text me before you come out of your rooms. And so they do, and I make sure that I'm, I've been waiting for them. But just, that's not even a tradition, I guess, but that's like the part of it that I love so much. But always there's Christmas music playing the night that we decorate the tree, and baking and these kinds of things. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, not that anyone asked me, but I'm going to jump in. For me, it was just being a kid and hanging out with my mom and my brother. And we would go to her mother, my grandmother's house on Christmas Eve night, and get to see our cousins that came in from Georgia. And that was a big deal at that time because we were real young, playing toy guns and killing commies in the backyard, playing like Red Dawn and stuff. I mean, stuff like that was fun. I think the fact that I make a mean Rice Krispie treats is probably a new tradition. I only make one. I only cook one thing in this world, and I don't think you cook Rice Krispie treats. You prepare.
That would be more of your baking, right? You only bake.
Yes.
You've baked about 7,000 batches of Rice Krispie treats this year. So Jay Galtz, real quick, and Tammy both came in for the wind with jaywalking, talking about essentially that the word jay used to be a word to describe someone who was essentially a simpleton. And so that's how it came about. Okay. Long story short, Andy asked what I got you for Christmas.
And then he won't tell.
He won't tell anyone. Let's see here. BC can answer too. She said.
So Silly asked if she comes and visits, if y'all can go shooting.
Oh, please. I was just having that conversation. Hang on. I'm trying to get a little caught up. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you asked again because I definitely didn't see it the first time. Yes. Long story short, the answer is yes. I listened to a 911 call the other day that got me thinking. This lady who was super calm, cool, and collected. In fact, I sent it over to our friend Drew to play on his show, Comm Center. But it's the dispatcher and the caller are both incredibly collected, and it's just fantastic. But the woman who unfortunately had to shoot the intruder, I say unfortunately because she was prepared to do so, but didn't want to have to do so. And she did to spare her own life, had a shotgun. And, when I was a kid, that's what I grew up. My dad didn't have pistols and stuff. Like he had rifles and shotguns. I mean, his guns were, I guess they would double as self-defense, but hunting, so my dad wasn't really a pistol guy. So I didn't grow up shooting that stuff. Now I have a pistol now. But I just assumed to have a shotgun in the house, to be fair.
Yeah, we had that discussion the other day. I'm a big fan of pistols. Just because I carried one forever, carried two, actually, as a backup. But when you talk about guns, when you're a kid, my dad worked in the beer business. And when he was a bachelor, I was probably like second grade, maybe. And he was going to get myself and my brother Uzis because it was in the 80s. You should always give young kids a Uzi.
Of course.
But the hookup, the guy at work, some things fell through, so we ended up getting some Ruger 10/22 rifles.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we could go shooting. You know what we should do? We should just have a big party, invite everybody out, and just have like a big bonfire. We'll make Rice Krispie treats. We'll go shooting.
Y'all come on. Who wants to come to the beach for Christmas?
Yeah.
Silly said, and coffee on the porch.
Yes.
And Carly said that she's coming as well.
We can get a band or two to play. We'll just book a band.
That's too easy.
Very easy.
The band portion is easy. I'm not saying any. Come on, Tammy.
Yes.
Tammy, you're going to be over here sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Also, I'm not saying that anybody's like dying to like I don't want to call it meet and greet. Nobody cares to meet us, but if you want to hang out,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a big party. Let's have a big party. We'll invite everybody out. Depending on what season, we'll either have a fire or we'll book a band or whatever. Maybe both.
well, year round is band time.
That's true too.
But you know what? I think that y'all, and you don't have to chime in if you don't want. I know that a lot of y'all do. Bosco, I know where you are. Tammy, I know where you are. And like Silly and Carly, I know where you guys are. I think a lot of y'all are kind of Midwest though, like kind of farther west than not, huh?
They may have to fly. You mean like them?
Well, yeah, it's kind of it'd be tough for a lot of people to get all the way over here.
That's true. I love a good party though. There was a question earlier about The Shield, the TV show, and I think the question was if I liked the show or if phone books were effective or something.
Oh, and stopping a bullet?
I think in The Shield they beat people. I think it was all about corrupt cops. It's old
hey,
TV
Erica.
Show. I've only seen like a little bit of that show, and I was like, ooh, I don't want to watch it. That's not my thing.
Well, look at everybody.
Yes.
Oh, Bill, I didn't know that you grew up in North Carolina. I know where Hendersonville is. Interesting. Silly said if we can overlook the bodies, we can come to her backyard.
Yeah, but it's pretty cold there, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, two things. Bosco asked about Blue Bloods. I know of that show too, Bosco. I haven't watched.
Was that Tom Selleck?
Mm-hmm. Like they're a family of cops or something, maybe.
I never I never actually watched that one, but it's supposed to be really good. A lot of people talked about that.
Yeah. It was Jay Grapes, I guess, asked the question earlier, and he said he beat a pedo in interrogation. Talking about the TV show. I guess that's fair.
Hey, what?
I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. Jay Grapes had asked a question earlier about the Shield TV show.
Okay.
And the phone book, I guess he's saying in the scene, the cop beat a pedophile. Gotcha. With a phone book, so yeah.
Okay.
I mean that's pretty straightforward.
Yes, Davey said Magnum PI will forever be the man. I remember when you and your buddies did the whole Magnum PI. Was it a bachelor party or something y'all went to? That was like last year on the social medias. All right, y'all. Does anybody have anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm about to lock it up.
Yeah.
Bill said, what's a phone book? It's what I need to be sitting on because I'm on 17 pillows and it's not working very well. NASCAR. I don't have anything, Bosco.
Oh, the question about Bad Boys. Have I ever done a traffic stop where someone's played Bad Boys? It used to play like 24/7 all the time. Like people just blasting it when we're rolling through, either as a joke or as a like, y'all are a bunch of chumps. So it could go either way. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes you unfortunately have to serve warrants or something. You go in someone's house and they're watching cops, and it's kind of ironic. I don't know. It's a little weird to see a reality show about police and you're sitting in someone's house. I don't know. Strange.
There was somebody pulled over like maybe 2 months ago, right down the street from this house. And it sounds like, and I say sounds like meaning because it was late and you could hear everything they were saying because it was straight down the street. And it sounds like the cops are probably looking for somebody. And it sounds like probably this guy fit the description. And they pretty quickly realized that's not who it is. But you can hear voices kind of getting amped. And like the guy's getting a little louder. The cops are getting a little bit louder. And then you hear the guy who's been pulled over. I guess one of his buddies is like pulling down the road and starts to play cops. Well, then the cop car itself blared the song over their loudspeaker. And then they're all chuckling and let the guy go. But it was funny.
Yeah, in the old days, people used to do some silly stuff. I knew an officer used to just blast country on his PA, and he would just circle. And we're talking about like a very small neighborhood block, and where everybody would hang out.
With people who didn't listen to country like generally.
A bunch of 9 Trey Bloods who were just like not happy. And so he was having
Amarillo by morning.
He didn't play the good stuff. He's like just anyway. He would blast country music on the PA and make everybody mad, which is not a good technique. I don't recommend it. What was your favorite Christmas movie? I just read that one as I was scrolling.
Oh, what's your favorite?
My favorite Christmas movie?
Mhm.
Movie? Man. Right now, I'm going to go with Four Christmases. I love it. I love Four Christmases. Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Like,
everybody.
so two categories, because you can do like a sentimental or nostalgic, right, and then funny. Because Four Christmases is hilarious, y'all.
Mhm.
Hey, Corrine. This is her YouTube commenter debut. Davy, you don't live very far from Corrine. If you need charcuterie boards, you call this girl. All right. Corrine Davies in Spring Hill now. So y'all live close to each other. Die Hard, yes. Die Hard is great.
We just watched it. Yeah.
Die Hard is great. Just watched that.
Another one that people don't think is a Christmas movie is Rambo.
You're gonna say Rambo.
First
Yeah.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lethal Weapon's another one. I haven't seen that one in like 30 something years.
I love Lethal Weapon. Die Hard is great. So I had not seen Die Hard in so long until a few nights ago. And I think my favorite, and I said it, but my favorite part is the fact that it's all over. All these people are dead. This like almost $700 million deal, was going to go down. Things have exploded. And then it's all done. And Bruce Willis has on like the coat and he's got his wife. And they're like, all right. And they just hop in like the limo and leave. Like no one needs to ask questions or talk. We're just, what?
That's why everybody wanted to be a cop back then. They're like, you just run around, shoot, blow stuff up, and then you just bounce.
Yeah, because he was a New York. He was a New York cop.
I'm a New York cop with a backlog of 37 cases.
Oh my!
And he's strapped with a 92 Beretta, like under his shoulder holster on the plane. You're like, that was the good old days. You could just fly on a plane with your pistol.
Do you put your like?
Well, what? Well, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah, Bill. That's what exactly. Bill said Bruce was on the plane with his gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of just kind of funny, lighthearted stuff, Four Christmases is up there. Got to do Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
I get it's cliche. I know everybody's gonna, but it's
good.
Amazing. But then, like Jamie said, It's a Wonderful Life, and then I get super nostalgic with those too, and like they're so warm and sweet.
Prancer was the name of that sad movie I was.
Oh yes, do y'all remember that? Do you remember the movie where it was like the 80s, right?
Yes, yeah, it had to have been.
It was like when you were a little bit older and I wasn't yet born.
So much older. Prancer, it's about a reindeer that I think like falls and gets hurt.
Yeah.
And a girl on a farm, they're losing the farm. I think Sam Elliott's the dad. That's how I remember it anyway. But it's so sad.
She like goes out to the stall to try to help or feed or whatever. Do y'all remember that? Oh my gosh, yeah. Carly said yes, she remembers it.
Yeah. It was sad. We watched it in school, elementary school.
Hey Teresa. Oh.
Like I didn't want to cry either. Like, but man.
Oh, Erica said my mom used to make us watch Prancer. It was the saddest thing. It was terrible.
Okay, did he die? Did the reindeer die?
I don't remember if he actually died. I probably blocked that out.
But they were like going to lose the farm, and maybe even the mom left.
He probably got up and like at the very end was able to like fly off on Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That's kind of like the never-ending story. So sad.
Bill and Reed are getting in a virtual fist fight.
About what?
They're not.
Oh, okay. I think the question was also, what was your favorite Christmas song?
Well, I kind of like the classics. I know you like we've had when he makes Rice Krispie treats, like you have to have Mariah Carey on, but
Okay.
I
had to turn the Lou Vega off.
No, I like the classics. So I like what's her name? I'm saying it every night. The woman geez, Rocking Around the Christmas, all those
Oh yeah. I about said Dusty Springfield. No, don't listen to me. I don't know. Yeah, Rocking Around the Christmas tree.
Brenda Lee.
Brenda Lee.
All the Brenda Lee songs. I like the Bing Crosby. I like all of that stuff. What about y'all? What's your favorite?
Yeah. Extra credit if somebody out there loves the Kinks' Father Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I do love that.
Yeah, Bosco, Brenda Lee. Silly said Baby It's Cold Outside just on the principle. I liked it before that even. You know what I mean? That's a good song.
Nat King Cole.
You got it, Tammy.
I don't know a Fairy Tale of New York.
Santa got busted by the Border Patrol. Like Kevin. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen, Erica.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Run DMC just had that on the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. Temptations. Anything by the Temptations.
Oh, the
Pogues.
Oh, nice. Okay. God, it's hot in
here. Yeah. Oh, the Waitresses. Yes. Cousin Tammy is correct. Cousin Tammy also knows that my brother will play that song with some other dudes and they'll start picking a broom. I'm kind of being vague. To the Waitresses. That's that Merry Christmas. Anyway, it's like almost like a new wave hit. I'm not going to sing.
Tell me more.
No, but these cats will get hammered and they just play it over and over and over.
Did you say somebody played music with a broom?
Yes.
Is this a famous TikToker?
Yeah. Yeah. I know a cat that makes TikTok videos trying to go viral. He was plucking a broom the other day. Yeah. But I grew up with some dudes, and their dad would get drunk and play the broom and sing. And it was incredible. It was great. And so my brother and them would do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Christmas songs.
I like it.
Clarence Carter. I did not know Clarence Carter had a song.
I was just reading that.
Call Me Back. What? Never mind. I just finished reading that. That's messed up, Bosco. We don't speak ill of Clarence Carter.
Yeah, Jay Galt said drunk dads for the win. Gotta play a broom.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. Well, y'all, it's been a ton of fun. I am sad to have not brought a case in one way, but on the other hand, it was nice just to kind of relax and not be y'all. Tuesdays are long. They're good, but they're long, and it's a lot of it's prep before Tuesday, but when Tuesday comes, usually speaking, I get home from work and then it's holed up in the bedroom, trying to get all the notes written right before logging on and getting going. So it was just kind of nice to hang out with you guys actually and engage, because I can't really do it when I'm telling the case. So I do love that. That's not done. We're just kind of taking a little bit of a December break just to kind of like a little place of camaraderie and having a good time, right? During the Christmas season, and then right back to all the nasty crime come January.
I think Carly said we should do a Zoom sometime. Like multiple people.
I like that.
I like that idea too. I think we can get.
I like that a whole lot. Reed also made a point to be nice to the people when you're buying your stuff and your groceries for the holidays, and he's totally right. And if you want to send me any kind of discounts, Reed, no, but definitely do. Be nice. But yeah, we hey, Bone Club, where have you been, Bone Cold? This whole time.
Be nice to everybody out there. Don't be like the women that used to beat people to get a Cabbage Patch doll. Just be nice to people out there when you're shopping.
Yeah. I feel like we found somebody who wasn't nice recently. I say that sounds silly and generic and juvenile, but I feel like we were somewhere where
somebody was
nice hateful. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're fortunate. We usually don't run into that.
No.
But every now and then.
Those women got mad at the parking space at Harris Teeter the other day.
Yeah, that's true. Someone said you didn't have a job in the car.
Y'all hear me out. Okay, and then we're going to go. But I got to say it. So those signs I can't with this stuff. So the signs that like, okay, at the grocery store that say reserved for XYZ, right? So there was the one that was like reserved for people with children. First of all, I mean, I've got kids, but even when my kids were tiny, I would have like not parked there, like just to spite it. Cause like I'm like, I don't need your parking spot. Like I'm fine. Like I'm a big girl. I can get into the store with my kids and do whatever, right? Hey, cupcakes and cameos. And so the other day we were pulling in Harris Teeter, and I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna park there because it's stupid. Like you don't need one space closer just because you have kids. And I know this because I also have kids. And I thought, you know what? And it just says for people with kids. And I got kids. It didn't say for people who have your children with you
in the car.
In the car with you, right? And so I parked there, and it had been kind of a weird day. And so I'm usually pretty like what you see is kind of what you get here. Like I'm usually pretty
You can
whatever.
Stop there. You can stop there.
Easy going.
You said I'm usually pretty. I said you can just.
Oh my gosh! And so did you just look at the camera?
I forget the camera's there. I was going to use the camera.
Oh my god! And so
the fourth wall.
And so I parked there, and we go in, and like I said, it had been a weird day, and I'm not usually like super, pissy or whatever, but it just wasn't a great evening. And so we get back out, and I guess my back, so I got a 4Runner, so like that back window rolls down. So the back window was down from putting the groceries in, and these two not tiny folks are like mad about the fact that I guess I parked in that spot and said, she don't got no kids in that car.
She didn't have kids in that car. And they both had matching hairstyles.
They did. And so I didn't hear what they said. I was very preoccupied mentally in the moment. And he said something about whatever, these chicks walking by. And I said, what did they just say? And you stop, James. And so I said, what did they say? He said, well, they were mentioning that you didn't have any kids in the car. And I couldn't get my window rolled down fast enough.
Yeah. They were about to feel the wrath. That's the cool thing about you. You don't get mad. We're laughing and joking a whole lot. We've also been known to sit in the parking lot and talk for like 30 or 45 minutes before we even go in and buy what we need.
Carly, I was about to jump out that car.
It was
mind
bad.
Your own business. I mean, don't worry about it. Also, well, I think that my frustration came in the fact that I think that they were thinking I was trying to get one up on everybody. Yeah. Like she doesn't have kids in the car, but she's using up that spot. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it on purpose because nobody needs extra special treatment one spot closer because you got kids. I've got kids. It's so silly.
Well,
jeez.
The only thing I would say is I've always been one to like try to park. If I see a few spots open real close, I'll leave them open just in case like some elderly people park.
Oh, I'm not that nice. I mean, I'll take the first spot, but I don't park in like handicap or anything.
No. That's one thing I don't like that. Like it makes me mad.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Like I walked up to a car when I was in the Army. 4 soldiers had parked in a handicapped spot. And I walked over and asked them if anybody was handicapped in the car, and they said no. I said, does anybody want to be? I said, move the effing car. And then my buddy was like, don't ever do that again. You almost got us in a fight. But I just don't like that.
And you said you wanted to fight. Did you ask them if they'd been jaywalking earlier that day?
Stop it. Jaywalking.
Kareem said, I feel like some of these people haven't known you for long. I present my best side, Kareem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, people hitting your car and stuff.
Yeah. If you're parking too close.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like being able to cut up and answer questions and laugh and joke. Every now.
Well, if we ever get around to that show we're talking about.
I know. So do we tell them or not?
Well, we have, but then we
get busy doing stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to do our own shows separately.
Yeah.
Still doing night shift and still doing disruptors, but then like some show like this, basically, where we just whatever.
Yeah. to do something more like this, like different topics, different interactions,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that. We just we just got to work it in,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. If any of y'all want to jump in on his game class tomorrow with Davey and Carly,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, I scheduled it for an evening session, trying to help out people on the West Coast or out in the Midwest too. But that's the virtual game class where the topic this time is just bloods, West Coast and East Coast. And we're going to nerd out a little bit and get into a lot of very minute details about blood gang sets.
Yes.
And answer a lot of questions. Have a good, nice, fun discussion.
My computer's doing weird, as always, doing weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you just popped a.
I didn't mean to. Well, I mean, it's fine, but I'm not. I'm just trying to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not what I do for a living. Tammy said she's had enough. She's all ganged out.
Yeah.
Done with it.
That's because Tammy's been putting in work for many, many years. Doing the thing. So
Okay, yeah. Bosco said that he sent his DM of his address. So you guys do send your addresses because we will get some stickers out. Merry Christmas is the best I can do right now. James said that we should just do a show of us talking to random people we meet throughout the day. You don't know how many times that's actually that was the show idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's when we first met. That's kind of how that happened, was because I recorded myself talking to a stranger on the beach just to get to the bottom of a question I had about her, because I was wondering, and I told him I'd figure it out. So I recorded us talking secretly and then sent it to him.
Yeah. So James, it's not a bad idea. We probably will do something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Our weakness is technology.
Speak for yourself, old man.
That is true. She knows how to do all this stuff.
I don't. I really don't.
Davey, West Coast. We'll get into some West Coast, but you're going to learn a lot about East Coast as well. And East Coast will be interesting as well. But and then I'm going to do other classes too down the road: Gangster Disciples, Latin Kings, Vice Lords, Serenos. We'll do skinhead subculture, homicide stuff. We'll do some interview classes. Whatever y'all are interested in, we'll hook it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bosco's right. He said that we got on the phone one night and he and I talked for 2.5 hours. That's also why I usually won't answer a phone call, because I don't know how to stop talking. But I enjoyed talking to Bosco, so it was fun. It's not a productive day for either of us when we get to talking. And I'm proud of being I'm not a boomer, but I'm a Gen Xer. So I'm proud of being a Gen Xer.
Oh gosh. All right, guys. Hey, a lot of love to y'all. I appreciate y'all hopping on. This is actually more fun. I'm gonna get lazy. Y'all are gonna make me not want to do it's not true. I'll still want to do crime, but this, even if we do this like once every, we'll do it for December, but then after that we're back to crime. But maybe once every blue moon a show like this too, because this is a lot of
I kind of like the idea too of maybe doing like what I think Carly said,
Silly Carly, yeah.
StreamYard like that, yeah. Like because Davey pops in and is talking about like motorcycle clubs and stuff. It's like, yeah, we'll do that too, man.
Yeah. Crane, I'll call you tomorrow. We'll chat about it. James said, does the BMBC stand for Boomer? Yes, it's Boomer Central Sanders. In case you wondered. Yeah, Carly, we will. We're totally taking it, and you will be the first one on the Zoom. You and Silly, I think, once every other month, do a chat with the fans. I like it, Silly. I'm down. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, for real, DM those addresses. We'll get some stickers out because that would be a lot of fun. And I don't know. I had a good time, BC. How about you?
I did too.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all have a good night and enjoy this time of year if you can, and don't work too hard and try to enjoy what's around you. That's kind of the idea of tonight. So we appreciate you guys, and I guess until next week, we will hug Tammy. We will see y'all next Tuesday.